We are live. Hello, hello. Shane and Nick, so good to see you. Production troubleshooting. Yes, I did a little bit of production troubleshooting just now with the audio, but we're all good to go. Nick says I can only stay until 5:25, but I'll be on for tonight. What time is it for you now? Wow, look at the crowd. We've got LV, Shane, Redmatic, Flyer, Nick. Hello, good to see you again, LV. It's 5:03 EST. Cool. Nick, I'm going to invite you up on stage. I'd love to get to know you a little bit. And Redmatic and Flyer, where are you guys joining from? Hi, Nick.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
What are you up to today at 5 p.m.?
I just finished work, um, and and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've been working. I've been building. Been working on a mobile app. This is what I specialize in. I do mobile and web development. So
Ooh,
that's it.
you you build mobile apps or you what
Yes.
tell me more. Oh, cool. Which system?
I
What?
use React Native and Expo
Okay.
for that. Yeah.
But it's not specific to any operating system, like not um,
Oh no,
the
because
Apple or
yeah,
Android.
exactly. It supports it's a universal app, so it's all I can support any platform that I want, pretty much.
Nice. Very cool. Do you work as a contractor? Do like if anybody wants to build an app, they can come to you, or is it specifically to a certain company?
Yeah, I'm currently building up my own software development agency, and yeah, this is what I'm. Yeah, we will build our own products, but we will also work for some some specific clients. So yeah, this is pretty much it. I'm just preparing everything for my freelance agency. Well, not really a freelance agency because I don't really want to do this anymore. I've been doing that for a long time now, and I got tired of it. So now it's yeah, I want to focus on my own products primarily.
Mm. Do you have
Yeah.
products in mind?
Oh yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot
Ooh,
coming, and yeah, it's gonna be incredible.
that's amazing. Good on you. Good on you for taking the initiative to start something on your own, having all these ideas. It's amazing.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah. I'd love to hear more about your journey. I know you might have to drop off pretty soon, but it's so cool because at NextWork we are a web app. Um, we use React, and we always think about mobile versus desktop users. Um, and we are a startup, so I feel like there's a lot of overlap in that sense. So I'd love to know what ideas you have and how you navigate through it. Where exactly are you based, Nick?
I am in Indianapolis, in Indiana,
Oh, that's right.
USA. Yeah.
Indianapolis. Yeah, that's lovely.
What about you?
We are based in Wellington, New Zealand.
Nice. Cool.
We're planning to move to the US. We should be in Austin, Texas in March.
Nice.
Yeah, looking forward to closer time zones. We have a
Have
lot
you
of network learners in the US, and it'd
right?
be nice to be around the same time as our learners. But it's going to be interesting because so many of our network events have been timed in such a way that it's like a normal business day in New Zealand, but it works out so that it's like US evening time. So I'm very curious to see how that's going to look once we get to the US. If everyone is at work, that'll be, I don't know who's going to be able to join and if we'll have to come up with different times. It'll be interesting. LV asked, what time is it in New Zealand? It's 11:08 a.m. in New Zealand. And it is Wednesday, not Tuesday. So if it's Tuesday evening for you, it is Wednesday morning for us. You will be getting everyone else on the other side of the world. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that is true. It'll be interesting for sure. And I've been thinking about playing around with the times. I think January has been amazing. We've had connect with community regularly every day at this time. So if it is 5 p.m. for you, Nick, it's been 11 to 12 for me, and sometimes we go over to 12:30. And if there's an error that we're working on, it might even end up being like much longer. But it's usually like 1 hour, 11 to 12, and it's like a really nice time in the US. And I'm thinking of doing a build lab at this time, starting February, and then having connect with community in the in my afternoon. So it'll be later for the US folks, but I might be able to reach out to a different crowd um, with both those events. So I'm curious to see what you guys think about that. Would it work better for your schedules? Would it, a later time might be easier?
That sounds interesting. I'm not sure yet on my end. I'm not sure yet if
Yeah,
it's gonna work out, but I try to make it happen.
that's
That's
fair.
what I like about this community. It's the fact that yeah, you are pretty well organized, and I'm all for that, so that I can plan ahead.
Aw, thanks so much, Nick. We try. We're a small group of we're a small team and we work really hard to make sure that everyone has access to amazing projects. They can build an amazing portfolio, learn all the skills they need to be successful. And we work really hard for that. So we always think about our learners and how we can be useful to the world. Aw, thanks, Roy. Yeah, I'm really excited about today's project. Nick, have you done any of the NextWork projects? I know you've been joining some of the build labs and you were there for John's build lab yesterday, which is awesome.
Unfortunately, no, not yet. But so far, what I decided to do for this week and maybe even next week is I'm going to follow along with all the build labs and just do yeah, I just go step by step with everyone and just to have a feel of it. I'm glad I did it yesterday with John because yeah, it helped me understand how to browse around or how to navigate around the platform while doing a project and that went pretty well. I liked it and so when I'm alone, I'm gonna be able to go much faster.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think I'll start submitting projects by next week. And one thing I had in mind is instead of stopping at the project itself, I'm thinking of going beyond that because since I have many years of experience, those projects are not going to be enough for me to have something convincing to people, you know. So I'm going to go beyond the projects and maybe even build a basic MVP product from there, you know, so that I can
mm,
show some more advanced stuff. So this is why I'm going to carefully choose projects that I can turn into MVPs, you know, so that I can show more advanced stuff and even write my own articles. I've been checking out Shane's documentation. That I like that. I like how he handles his documentations, and so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go beyond the projects and write articles about what MVPs that I built from the projects. So I hope I'm not talking
Mm,
to the yeah.
that's awesome. Yeah. Shane is amazing. He's got a wonderful uh, website where he really showcases his technical skills, knowledge. He's got blog posts, really phenomenal. I'm glad
I
you were
agree.
inspired by that.
I agree. Shane's blog is pretty awesome.
Yeah, let me share the link for anyone who is looking into it. And let me know if that's the right link, Shane. Yeah. And Nick, I think you should also check out Roy's Git portfolio. It's pretty impressive. And this is just the NextWork projects alone. He's done all the projects and taken all the markdown files from his projects. He's uploaded it into his Git portfolio. He's made his own diagrams, and it's really cool to see how he has organized some of his the projects and how he thinks about them and how they work towards it. So it really is a level up from what we offer, which is really cool. And it again, both with Shane and Roy, with the years of experience that they have, they take NextWork projects and they go a level beyond that, and they really apply those skills in a way that gives them so much credit and validity and it so much credibility to their skills and what they really have to offer the world. So it's definitely
Absolutely.
inspiring.
I agree. I've checked out Ward's stuff as well, and yeah, it's pretty. Him and Shane, they are pretty inspiring in this community. So yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them.
Absolutely, and it's really cool. I have to say it's been amazing to see the friendships that have been formed in the community, and it's really cool. Yesterday, uh, when we finished a build lab, John completed a build lab, and Shane and Roy have been working very religiously across the 21 projects. We've been releasing 21 projects in 21 days, and they've been making sure they're on top of it, and both of them have completed all the projects that have been released to date. And when one I don't know if you guys know this, but we have a channel on Discord which shows the project completions and who's completing, or the projects that are being completed around the world. And it's kind of cool. It's really cool. Every day I like to go check this out, this live project completions, and see, oh, what are the projects that people are doing? Oh, there's somebody doing cloud security with IAM in India, and somebody just started the cloud beginner challenge in the US. And it's really cool to see. And so you can see some of the newer projects. And I think yesterday, oh, this is us. um, yeah, that's us too. When it's New Zealand, it's most likely us. Um, yeah, AI security scanner, not that one. What was the project from yesterday? And it was about 5 p.m. or so. Let me see. There was two US back to back. And it was like, oh, who is it? And it's really cool. It's just a nice little um, feature that we have in our Discord community. And I like how Roy and Shane will be like, oh, I think that's you. You did the newest project. And then it was not Roy, it was Adrian. It's just really cool. I can't find it, but it's here somewhere. So, yeah, when you guys complete a project, We'll see it here. And one time in Connect with Community, we had a guess the flag game. It was so much fun. Review GitHub PRs with Gemini at 5:24 p.m. This is a US one. Oh, there it is. So there was one at 5:01 p.m., another one at 5:01 p.m., so same time, and then another one at 5:24 p.m. Yeah, Shane, there you go. So yeah, I know exactly who they are now. One is Shane, one is Adrian, and one is Roy. And you can also check out who's been doing the projects. So if you check out 21 and 21, you'll see all the new projects. Yeah, I see you guys. Where's Shane? Oh, Shane, why aren't you here? Interesting. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So you get to see who's doing the projects, who's working through it. And this project was released just yesterday, and we had 3 people completing it. I think Nat is also working through this project. She wants to be prepared for her build lab. So she's doing part 1 and part 2 today, so that for her build lab, it's going to be smooth. I'm excited for Nat's build lab. She's the OG. She's the OG everything. She's been at NextWork for so long. She has been involved in creating projects, in checking in with the community, making sure learners have everything they need to be successful. So she's the absolute OG queen of doing this thing. Other than Amber, of course. Amber is our CEO and founder, and the one who started it all. Yeah, we need another Humans of NextWork episode, don't we? About time. If I don't know if you're aware, we've been doing Humans of NextWork every week. And what we do is we have one team member at NextWork just join in, and we ask all the questions that we have. Anyone can ask questions. I'm usually asking the questions with a voice. I'm the voice of our learner. So if there's a question, I'll ask it for you. And yeah, you get to know them a little bit more. Yeah, Nat was the first person. And I think that was Thanksgiving weekend. And so I think, Sean, you might have missed that one. Nat was the first. Then we had Pano, our engineer. After Pano, we had Sean. Oh, and we had Maximus, and then Krishna. Yeah, our founding engineer. So I think Amber and Kahu are remaining. Maybe we can schedule one with Amber or Kahu. Either way, I'll just have to check their availability. It'll be exciting. Exciting stuff. And then maybe we can do it all over again. We can restart. Oh, Sean, you missed Nat and Maximus. No, it's okay. I think we'll keep doing it. We'll just do it in rotations. I think that'll be fun. Yeah. Oh, we've got more folks here. We've got McSulkins. We've got Venkata. Good to see you again. And we've got Siffy. Where are you guys joining from? McSulkins and Siffy. I haven't seen you around. You know, before these roadmaps came into existence in our website, I don't know if you know this, we've got roadmaps. So if you don't know how to get started, need ideas on which projects to work on as you build the skills that you need for the roles that you want, we have these roadmaps. And these are our suggested projects in the order that we suggest. Of course, the way we're designed at NextWork is that you can do any project that you want in any order, really it's totally up to you to determine the path you wish to create. But sometimes it's nice to get a little guidance. And so there's roadmaps both in here, and if it's easier to see things and visualize it, you can also just go to nextwork.org and you'll see the roadmaps and go through it. But I think it's time with all the new 21 projects, we need more roadmaps and more like ways of creating things. So maybe we could do a session on, um, finding out what each one of you want to do and then creating a personalized roadmaps, but we can do it in a live session so that it might benefit somebody. Because we've got so many projects now. So many projects. How many now? And I'd love to know if you could create a project. And by a network project, I mean a project that would be that that someone could complete in 60 minutes, um, including or not including setup time. What project would you want to see? What project would you think you could offer? Guys are hilarious. Shane, I want to be an actor. Could NextWork help me? One day we'll get there. We'll get there. I think there will be a day when you could be a doctor by doing NextWork projects. Oh, Sohib's goal is to be an actor? I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. What about skills based series? I like it. Tell me more, Roy. Hello.
Hello, everybody. How's everybody
Hi.
doing?
So much better now that we are hearing your voice.
Oh, thank you. Cold over here. Sean knows. Um, skill-based series. So I see more of the projects being more role-based, like cloud engineering, software developing. But when you go into a little bit more another level, you see the cloud engineer has different skills, like
Mm-hmm.
infrastructure as code, maybe a series
Mm-hmm.
just dedicated to infrastructure as code in
Mm-hmm.
regards to like Terraform, maybe like a four project series from maybe a base one to more complex building it out. And different kinds of skills amongst the roles, so you get that more defined skill sets that they can reinforce that role to be more getting that expertise as they continue on the roadmap. What are your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great idea. I like the idea of having a skill focus. And yeah, we kind of tried to do that, like with the specialty is supposed to be like this the skill. So you would see security, or maybe it's the tools infrastructure as code. Um, but yeah, I think that's a great idea. Do you have a idea of what project you would bring into NextWork?
Generally, not at the top of my head. I would have to maybe look more into it, but just kind of see where I guess the industry is currently at and see what skills are really kind of you see those on resumes that are like popping. Maybe focus on those and kind of build a project series out of that. Like with the one you're doing right now with the GitHub, with the I think it's learning it a little bit more with Git actions and integrating AI with that. That's really good with especially the fundamentals of understanding the CI/CD kind of process. And there's different tools when it comes to those CI/CD builds, whether it's with GitHub, whether it's with old school Jenkins, Azure DevOps. Those skills are there's different tools for it, but the whole fundamentals of what the CI/CD pipeline does and why is it so necessary for building out application infrastructures and all that is crucial. So we have that part. So I guess maybe more refined on those skills, on those tools, but it's hard because there's so many of it, and maybe play with that.
Mhm.
That's what I'm thinking.
All right, if I can give you a little bit of a spoiler alert, we're planning to invite our community to propose and build projects along with the NextWork team. So that's our plan for Feb. So Jan we did 21 in 21, and Feb would be more like NextWork team and community building projects. And I'd love for you guys to think about what projects you would like to see on NextWork. You would get your you would get credit for it. It would be like, oh, this one was built by Roy. This one was built by Sohib. So think about ideas, and I'd love to. I'll put it more officially out in the community to get ideas. Top 10 ideas would be um, taken and run with. So the only requirement is that they should be bite-sized. Like it should not be a huge project that's overwhelming. We'll start with small stuff and something that you can complete in 60 minutes. So similar to this series, like you said, Roy, it's very fundamental, really crucial, important skill to have, but it's also not tedious. It's not overwhelming. Okay.
Exciting. Can't wait for that.
So if you, Roy and Shane, you've been doing 21 and 21, which is awesome, and you're thinking like, oh no, what's next? I think it just might be that you've got your own project on NextWork. That'd be
I was kind of just out of curiosity. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I had an idea about because I've been doing it, helping out with a lot of the community with the troubleshooting and stuff like that. I'm coming
mm,
to a realization that a lot of them are new to Cursor. They're new to all these different tools that we're using. And I was like, maybe there should be a page on NextWork where it's dedicated to that, to where they have like a video or a tutorial or something, so that way they understand how these
mm,
tools work, and that way they don't go through and use all their AI tokens and stuff like that, so they can get a fundamental, I guess, idea of how these tools work and how to go through. So that way they have a better understanding in a sense. So that way
yeah,
this is why this
that's
is that, this is why that's that. I know the projects they have a snippet of it, but I think there's a chance
yeah.
where I think like say like right now I'm diving into Notebook LLM because I realize I need something like that, so I'm learning about it, and that would be cool. That's when I thought about it. I was like, wow, it'd be cool if you like go to NextWork and then you go through and like these are all the tools right here. This is your a tutorial how to use it, how to function with it, how to do these things. And I was thinking like, yeah, that's kind of the same idea with Cursor. That'd be cool if like the learners can go there and just kind of like reference off of that. Like, okay, I can do this, I can do that. So it was just an idea I was thinking about, and there's so much that this next work is already doing and is growing, and I see it, and it's awesome, and it's powerful stuff. This is good medicine. I tell you what, it's going in the right direction, and I'm just so fortunate to be part of the journey with you guys and meeting a lot of cool people like Roy, Sean, have and newcomers like LV. You got everyone. These are this next work is touching so many different people's lives. And if you look at it, I'm a poet, and Maya knows that. She I see things in different lights and perspectives. So I always add a little bit of weight to things when people don't realize it. That's that was just my little piece there. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day. It's good to see everyone here. Let's keep growing, guys.
Thanks. Thanks so much, Shane. Shane, I have to say you have this really cool little halo around your Discord profile. It is so cool. I love it. I don't know how you did it, but I want to find out. Yeah, great suggestions on like tool setup, and it just makes me think of one of our very, very, very simple project. It's called Setup, an AWS account, not a project you necessarily want to put on your portfolio, but it was created because we saw so many people just wanting to know how do you set up an AWS account, especially when you gotta put in your credit card and it's scary and it's like, am I gonna get charged for it? And it just breaks it down so that you don't have to look anywhere else. And I think Rajneesh, one of our community members, really said something about the beautiful thing about NextWork is that it breaks down even the simple stuff into step-by-step instructions, stuff that experts think is too basic to be explained, and it just makes learning a lot more accessible. So yeah, even talking about cursor or creating an Azure account, it's there in the projects, but maybe there's a separate project for it so that you can go do it and understand what is this tool that you've just installed or this tool that you've signed up for. Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of having a cursor, like how to use cursor. Getting started with cursor project or uh, setting up a Azure account or even setting up Claude Code in your system. Um, we have it, it's there included in the projects, but maybe it's a project of its own so that you can really understand what is this tool before you get into the projects. So good idea. Thanks, Sean and Shane, for that suggestion. Yeah, I would love for you guys to think about ideas, and I will be putting out a post soon about like um,
Okay.
60-minute bite-sized projects that you can build. And this will be your project. This is your contribution to NextWork. It's not a suggestion that you give that we implement. We build it together. So it's definitely that's what's happening in Feb. So I've asked what is next after these 21 on 21 projects. It is community driven projects. Community is going to build projects. And like your name will be up here. You get the credit for creating the project. So,
Hey, Maya, can you hear me?
um, yes, I can hear you.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, how are you? My name is
Hi.
Sai. I'm
Hi, nice
in
to meet you.
South US. But I'm not sure about NextWork. It's just showing up on my feed recently. I'm not sure what it is. It's been there. I've been, looking at some of the projects you guys do for the past few days. But I'm amazed by the amount of content you have on your websites. Um, Here's the thing, when you suggested, community-driven projects and ideas around community-driven projects, come from a very non-technical background. The background is in health sciences, primarily in public health science. We did a lot of stuff that relates to population health. Again, when the AI, the advent of AI, and before that, the process of structured and unstructured data, especially in terms of supervised and unsupervised machine learning, a lot of things evolved, especially in the business aspects of the data, like
Mm-hmm.
more continuous data rather than population level data, which is mostly very qualitative or categorical. And we struggled a lot initially to come up with ways to train some of our models. But again, then COVID hit. When
Mm-hmm.
COVID hit, one of the drawbacks that we had working in a public health setting, when I said public health setting, it's mostly government funded, either at the state level or the county level. The issue that we had was the IT infrastructure we had at these at these agency settings were very legacy infrastructure. We could not scale some of the infrastructure we could have done when we modernized it, but we could not. Due to that, I'm going to give you an example. When COVID hit, we know where it was happening, but we could not really transmit the data in a more HIPAA compliant, secure platform, just because most of these the organizations where the data was supposed to send it to us, they didn't have the infrastructure with them. So I'm going to give you an example. One of them was the rural health clinics. Uh, Most of them were still collecting the data back then in COVID days. They were collecting the data on paper, and we have a hard time accessing that information. COVID was advancing so fast,
Mhm.
especially in rural South Mississippi and rural South Alabama. Um, we were not able to catch up with the pace of where to cluster um, the outbreaks of COVID. That's one of the things. And here's the real thing. After 5 years of COVID, we still are facing these issues in understanding the infrastructure. Here's the biggest gap that we see. Whatever the IT folks speak and whatever the non-IT folks, which is us, we do, there's a gap in the knowledge. Whatever you guys do and however we wanted it, that has always been an issue. So
Mhm.
we went ahead and we started training some of our business analysts into understanding what we're trying to do in terms of outcomes, but at the same time we were trying to train some of the epidemiologists to understand what infrastructure looked like in terms of cloud based data pipelines, those kind of stuff. Then and then AI came in, GPTs came in, LLMs came in. We were tired trying to train our own models with the existing large language model we were doing with Olama. Anyway, long story short, it just so here's the thing. There are two things that's happening in that space. One, you're training your models. The two, we don't have a proper infrastructure to transmit the information. So, what is the best way to create a project that helps us understand how the data is transmitted over the cloud in a much faster way, but at the same time, as a front end user, how do we train our models using AI? Um, s- I know this is too vague, but again, it comes from a non-technical background. I'm trying to fit in the words that make you understand, but at the same time, I'm trying to make sense of what I'm talking.
Yeah, it's a big problem. You've presented a very big problem statement, and I'm just trying to break it down in
Uh,
like how to
I have a question.
give an answer. Oh, Sean has a
I,
question. Has a question or an answer?
maybe both. Maybe
Let's
both.
go. All right.
Just so you're pulling your data from independent health groups, right? From different provider groups nationally. Is that correct? Or you're trying to?
So here's the thing: we cannot pull independent data. We have to work with. So here's the thing. So I'm going to be honest. So I live in Mississippi. So the biggest hospital system in Mississippi is University of Mississippi Medical Center. But when COVID hit, the State Department of Health was tasked with getting the. So the State Department has the statutory authority through the government of Mississippi. So the State Department of Health has MOUs with all the rural health clinics. We have 185 rural health clinics in Mississippi, and then about 26 federally qualified health centers. These are these clinics that cater the needs of Medicaid and Medicare population, the population which is generally below certain poverty levels. So these are not the regular people who go to hospitals. These are the people who go to a government funded Medicaid programs. But again, so the task of the health department was to get that information from these clinics all over the state. We have about 600, more than 600,000 people who live on Medicaid and Medicare, and getting data from these rural health clinics, 185 rural health clinics, are 26 community health clinics to the health department and to analyze. We have only about 12 data scientists or epidemiologists trying to analyze the data. To analyze the data coming in a way that we needed it, it wasn't possible during COVID, just because previously before COVID, all that they used to do is every 3 months they used to send us data in a flash drive.
Yeah.
And the data was both structured and unstructured. When it's unstructured, it's paper based. We have to scan it, pull the
Yeah, yeah.
information out of it. So,
Yeah, no, I understand the structure. My background is I owned an ambulance company in Texas that I owned for 12 years, and I interacted with state, local, and federal governments. So historically, especially in the medical field, state has their poor management, poor latent information, right? They're the last ones to change and they're the slowest ones to change. That's just local government and federal government. So the best way, the answer to your question, and the solution that I see is the rural health clinics are federally funded, right? So it's real easy to get them to comply by having them meet a requirement for a disaster, because they're getting federal funding, right? So you can
exactly.
have them very simply. Now, it takes action, but you have them. They're getting federal money, so you have them um, uh, fill out forms or exposure criteria and report it to a database, right?
And here's the
That's
thing.
already being done. That's already being done with the CDC. So you need to tap into the CDC database, and then you can use that CDC data to accomplish your goal.
So we used to send the data to see. I don't work in the health department no more, but here's the thing: the federally qualified sends us the data to us, and we send the data to CDC. That's how it was set up initially. But
Yeah.
when you mentioned that federally qualified health centers get the federal data, I mean federal dollars, so does the health department. The problem was the federal dollars are budgeted. Like it,
Yeah.
here's the thing: if they know what they're budgeting it for, then they could budget it. But they budgeted for general services, for equipment, but they never knew what they needed to be budgeted for in terms of building data pipelines. They never knew that, hey, if you're using Azure or Google Cloud or an AWS cloud, so we're going to set up this much amount of money to ask for the federal dollars. They would have done it, but they did not know how to do it either. The same thing happened with the public health departments too. They're not sure. They have a blanket statement saying that we're going to buy servers, but
Yeah.
most of them were not sure what kind of service are we buying. So that was one of the issues that we faced during COVID.
So what's your goal? Your end goal? What you're trying to track these patients, or are you trying
So
to
my
build
end
a
goal is
system?
basically to build a. So one of the issues that we faced was, hey, can we have the data? I mean, we have the MOU between you and us, and we have the data. They said, we don't know how to provide you with the data. We can send you a flash drive with all the information.
Yeah.
That's how it was. And I
Yeah.
wanted to build a cloud platform, from where the data coming from the QHCs gets into our cloud database or whatever you call it, and then we can analyze over the cloud. That's what we were thinking.
AI
Yeah.
is the answer. Just tell me what
Yeah.
the question is.
Yeah.
Hey
Okay.
guys, how's it going?
Hey, Harry Brewer, what's up?
Not much. I just want to call out an interesting comment that Maya shared from YouTube. It's from Pronluden295. Pronluden says, "Hi, one of the things that stops me from starting a new job is that I don't feel confident 100% with my English level, kind of intermediate level. I consider myself as a junior dev in USA. Is it still viable to study DevOps fundamentals? Many people say it will be gone because of AI implementations." And then Shane says, uh, I think the YouTube comment would be something where they could utilize AI into a workflow. There are a lot of people that quote unquote buy into this "we are cooked" top headline that scare new devs and future talent. I think we need to understand that AI is here and we should use it. That's just Shane's opinion, but curious to hear what everyone else thinks about this. This is a very interesting question.
Yeah, I think DevOps needs to, anyone using AI needs to learn theory and what it's doing. You can't just blindly say, run off AI, go do it, because it's going to run down a rabbit hole. you know. So fundamentals, I think if a junior, and I'm speaking from a hobbyist point of view, I think DevOps people need to learn fundamentals, and those skills will be marketable even if AI, and more marketable even if AI keeps developing. I think it was Roy or somebody I asked one time. I said, "What keeps you relevant with this new AI age?" And the first comment he made was shipping. Product. Building product and shipping it. Well, AI can't, if there's no filter, no one to understand the logic, then shipping can't really happen effectively, in my opinion. That's just what I think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think DevOps is going away. It's a framework there for a reason. Currently, you still have different teams still working separately with operations and development, and people are still adopting DevOps, and the people who are using DevOps, it's there. Maybe they add security onto it, DevSecOps, and they're adding AI to it to improve those pipelines to make it even more better. But the whole fundamental framework of DevOps is it's a working process that builds apps at a very rapid speed, and it has so many guardrails in place that really improves the quality of the code that gets pushed through, the quality of the build, and it's something that's been working over time. So I don't think that's going anywhere. It might get tweaked to be more enhanced with AI, but the underlying system is still there. So I would say continue to learn it, because if you look at the end-to-end life cycle of DevOps, you're going to see that tools may change over time, but the framework of each of those principles are always the same. You're going to need every single component. That's just working with it through the many years. But that's my thought.
Well said. I agree with both of you. I would add, as a clarifying point, that DevOps is inherently the intersection of development and operations, right? That's what the acronym stands for. Now, development might change and operations might change, but the fact that they have an intersection is a constant, right? Where that intersection is and how those different technology advancements and AI adoption will change that landscape is inevitable, but the fact that there's a landscape to begin with, I believe, will be a constant. And then to address the part about English, Ron Luden, if you can hear me, I highly suggest joining the Discord. Come and hop on one of these calls. Practice your English, practice talking about the topics and specific keywords and frameworks used in the industry, because knowing, hey, how are you? I'm doing well is a very different conversation than, hey, when you commit this code, your CI/CD pipeline is failing because of this specific implementation of an API key. So having the real use case practice of discussing the different topics that you would like to cover, I imagine would be quite helpful in building your confidence in a second or third or fourth language.
Great insights, and good shout out, Harry Brewer. I think that's great advice. I mean, it's one thing to be fluent in English, and a whole other thing to be fluent with technical communication. And coming into these chats, practicing it, meeting people who you can practice those technical communication with is a big unlock. And it's very powerful to hear professionals say that DevOps isn't going anywhere. You still need to be able to know these skills. You need to know the foundations so that you can assist or review the AI work. So, very powerful to get the technical perspectives from tech professionals in this community. Thank you all for adding your insights. And Sci-Fi, thanks for asking that question too. You have a retired paramedic and a tech hobbyist who's very well and fluent with both languages, healthcare and tech, in this audience. Shane is an absolute legend in the community. So I hope that answer was useful to you.
Yes, thank you.
Amazing. I also want to shout out to Ni, who has been working through the Azure project. It's the build an Azure function. And I think he got stuck somewhere. I don't remember exactly where. And I did invite him to join this session, and maybe we can look into it together. This Connect with Community is all about meeting people who are tech enthusiasts, tech professionals, people who want to learn, who aren't afraid of making mistakes, breaking things, and ready to build and learn from these, hands-on projects that NextWork offers. Sai, you mentioned that you were new to NextWork. I'd be happy to give you a quick tour if you'd like. And Roy or Sean, I see that you're both unmuted. If you want to add anything, please feel free to jump in. All right, Sai says yes, please. Sai, it's so awesome to have you here, and really cool that you say that you don't have any background in tech. I think NextWork is really meant to help anyone, whether you're an expert or completely new. We try to make it very accessible to anyone, whatever the skill set is. It would be cool to know what you're keen to learn and how you want to get started, whether you're looking specifically for skills on cloud, if there's a particular platform that you have in mind, if you're getting started, if you want to get started with AI, um, whatever it is, I think it's useful to get an idea of exactly what skills you'd like to start with. But just as a general, how to navigate through the NextWork platform. If you go into learn.nextwork.org, you will see, if you haven't created an account, you would see an empty page, nothing else. But if you already have an account and you have created, if you looked at any one of the projects, you will always land with the um, last opened project. So if you haven't signed up, this is what you would see, and you can start looking at what are the projects we have, what skills are you looking for, what tools do you want to look into. There are many ways of navigating. One way is just to pick something and look into it. So I would say maybe start with the AI workspace, or if you're absolutely new, maybe the DevOps or AI, maybe even Roy, Shane, if you have a suggestion on which is the best project to start with, put it in the chat. But you could also, let's see, let me pick on a very simple AI, getting started with AI. How do you use AI to build things? It's useful because you learn to work with AI. You learn to use Cursor, Git, GitHub, and it's just understanding how AI can help you build things faster, and whether you're getting into cloud or just an app within your local machine, this is a great project to just start with. Another thing you could do is, once you find a project that's interesting to you, you could use the ask feature. Say, tell me about this project, or I am a healthcare professional professional and I am completely new to tech. I'd like to be able to build a web app that manages a lot of data and deploy it to cloud. What project should I do? How do I get started? And you could just ask a question there. Of course, you need to sign up. Let's see. Let me go into my signed up ask and let's see. So sometimes this is personalized to you. So the ask will know which projects you've completed. So you might not get the answer that you want, but based on what Ask knows about me and the projects I've completed, it'll give me an idea of how to start. I also recommend coming to the community, putting a question out here and saying, hey, what is the first project that you would recommend that I start with? This is what I know. I'm very comfortable with AWS, but I really don't know how to get started in building that bridge between my healthcare colleagues and creating an application for them. So yeah, check out these projects and ask all the questions you want. We are a very supportive, very welcoming question kind of a community. We love questions. You'll see ask here, and even in our community, you have a ask anything. We're all about like ask questions, be curious, break things. We're here for it. Sai, anything you want to add?
I'm just reading Roy's comment, and that is so true when he mentioned there are several layers of approvals, and that is one of the frustrating parts of it. And Roy, let me be clear. One of the reason why we had those several layers of approval is basically a lot of government officials, when we work in these settings, they do not want to take a risk when it fails. Again, especially our upper leadership, and we as in it's across the board in other states as well. We had these issues when things fail. um the axe falls on the upper leadership, and they didn't want to take those risks. Most of these failures, the current administrations are, if you look at what's happening with, at the federal level, they call it waste, the Doge team, whatever they did it. And that is true, most of the times when we do a project and it does not, end up in providing the return of investment we expected, and especially we are using taxpayer dollars to fund these projects. We had those issues around accountability, and which isn't directly, we had those several layers of approvals, and that's one of the issues. Again, and that is so true. I mean, unfortunately, it is what it is. But again, we we never had those subject matter experts who could sit on the table and explain it to them that if we do it in a certain way, this is how it's going to work. And I'm going to give you innumerable examples. We spent a lot of money is working with some of the local universities here in the deep south, um, to look at the project, give them, the specs, the scope of work, but the end project would not really look like what we wanted it. Again, it was a lot of money that was just going down the drain, and that's what is happening. Um, and sometimes I'm going to give you an example. A few days ago, I went on the Palantir website, and the way they build those data layers or the data engineering layers was astounding. I was surprised. I wanted something like that, but not at that scale. But something at a local level, where we can just
Understood.
get. Those are the things,
Yeah,
and
so if I had to say is that, those are doing COVID, but I think currently with how fast AI is progressing, solutions will be there. There are more people becoming AI integrators, more contract companies, more companies seeing that this is needed as a business solution to integrate AI because we have machine learning and people building out LLMs, but we rarely see the AI integrators integrating, these models, whether it's a RAG, whether it's an automation process, whether what kind of AI model to bridge that gap to what the business problem is. I think that's what people are shooting to focus on now, and I think solutions like to the problem that you had during COVID, it might be here, and I think understanding through the projects how that works and have that understanding the technical part with the background of the business side of things as a business analyst, you can kind of put things together and you say, you know what, you guys are missing this part. This would make more sense if this, and understanding the compliance side. So I feel like we're coming into the era where the solution is going to be there um, for more people to use. Maybe it's going to be a company creating the solution as an AI integrator or a product. Who knows? But with cloud platforms, seeing that this is a need for many of the business globally, I think it's going to be a solution as a whole that they will offer because they know that's a big market share.
And absolutely, I mean, if you look at the recent graph that came out, in the last 40 years, previously it was manufacturing. Now, the biggest contribution to the GDP in terms of services is healthcare. And again, U.S. healthcare is going to it's going to be more costlier down the lane, especially with, a lot of people, hitting the retirement age by
going to listen
2040,
to getting some.
and that's what's happening. It's going to Healthcare is going to be more expensive down the lane, and it can, we needed those systems to, integrate information from sources, uh, and to make those informed decisions based on, what we see in terms of the analytics. So that's where we are right now.
Yes, and for my experience being a business owner, being an AI career focus, and being a cloud engineer, you kind of understand the technical side of it and also the business side of it. It's like what is business needs of, and what can AI do for that? And as you start to realize that the business side and the technical side with AI, they kind of come hand in hand. And when you do these projects, you'll start to see, oh, what is the business solution side of this when doing this project? Oh, so this would help more if I build out a RAG system. Maybe I can have the understanding of documentations within the business, so it sends it solves more customer related issues to solve that, so you don't have too many trouble tickets that the engineers have to work with, and use cases like that. So I think it's this new era of AI is going to be um, more it's going to progress more than what we think, and I think enjoying the ride and learning this stuff now will pay off tenfold as we continue to move forward in that journey.
Absolutely. And Maya, I just sent you a LinkedIn request, but I would also want to connect with Roy and Sean, if possible. This was my first time on a Discord, um, uh, virtual meeting, and this was intense for me. This is intense. Like, there's so many things that's happening. I see in the middle there, on the right, I see the chat, and this bearded dude just trying to kiss me. And on the left, I had these. Oh my gosh, that's intense.
Oh
Thank you,
my
Roy. I'm gonna
goodness,
go
no
ahead and
worries.
add you up there.
Yeah, welcome to Discord. Welcome to NextWork. I'd love to know a little bit about um, uh, how you got to know about NextWork and how or why you joined Discord. It's really, really awesome to have you here, and it's so cool that we have a lot of NextWork learners who have joined Discord, our community, just because they want to be a part of the community. So really cool to have you here.
I'll be honest. Um, it just came up on my social media feed, especially I think it was Facebook. Um, and I was looking for projects. I think the algorithm identifies if you're looking at a certain type of projects, and it just somehow catches that and comes into my feed. But the interesting thing was not exactly what NextWork was doing. You get a lot of spam. You sign up for it, and then they say, "Yeah, this is more like a search engine optimization," or they want you to sign up for some kind of a classes. I'm not sure about, but NextWork was mostly about when I hit the middle of it. It took me to an open source project, and I was surprised when you have those open source projects. And then when I went on to the YouTube channel, somebody was actually doing a live project. I forgot her name,
That's
and she
awesome.
was awesome. She did a 2 hour project or a 1 hour project, but I didn't have the time to go through all of it. But that's something hit me because from a non-technical person who was explaining it in the most basic terms, for me to understand, at least for me to understand, it might be boring for other people who was well advanced into those stages. But for me, it was like, okay, this is good. I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna come back and watch it later. I just don't have time right now. And again, I was just sitting waiting for my kid to come back from school, and I was like, I opened YouTube, and there was this you right there in the my YouTube open
Mhm.
the first landing page. You something from NextWork who was live. I just want to see what's going on, and that's where it took me to YouTube Live. But again, I think you were reading some chats, and I was trying to understand where these chats were coming from, and then it took me to Discord. That's how I came to Discord, and I opened up. I had an account with Discord from several years ago. I think it just logged me in with that account, and there you go. That's how I came across NextWork.
Nice. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you were able to connect with our awesome community. Shane, Roy, Sean, Harry Brewer, they're absolute pillars of the community, and I'm sure they can help you with more questions. I'll always be here, of course. So keep keep connected, keep connecting with the community. If you have any more questions, drop a note in here. Ask anything here. We always check. You can see people just going through. Roy and Shane will be responding to them. So just come in, ask a question, and then it becomes a thread for us to follow up and keep answering the question that having a conversation that extends beyond that question alone. But yeah, other than that, we do this at a regular time, 11 to 12. We're actually 12 minutes over, but that's all right. It's been wonderful conversations that we've had today. And every day I run this, and every day different people show up and different conversations come up, and it's so cool. I learned so much from the conversations and the discussions that happen very organically in here. So thank you all for being such for sharing your wealth of knowledge and your experience, and for asking the questions and not being afraid or intimidated or shy. So really appreciate having all of you here. I do want to tell you a couple of things before we wrap up this call. One, I want to make sure that Mixel Keynes and his answer and his question has an answer. Harry Brewer, so good to having you here. We'll catch you soon. Mixel Keynes, can you tell me a little bit about yourself and what projects you're looking for? I can definitely help you with a personalized roadmap. Are you in a position to unmute? Oh, Mixel Keynes is typing. Maybe some issues with the audio. I'm unable to hear you. We have Bill Monty who just joined. Hello, hello. Good to see you here. All right, Mixel Keynes has some audio trouble. Maybe we can connect. Maybe you know what? I'm gonna do this. So McSolkins had a question saying that I'm interested in cloud and DevOps and would be interested in a personalized roadmap. So I'm going to create a post, or let's see, personalized roadmap. And I'm posting on behalf of McSolkins, and this is the question. And then maybe we all can add to it. So that way the question is beyond, it's not just limited to this call, but we all can chip in and add our suggestions to it. Yes, McSolkins, we have trouble hearing you. So what I would do is I would definitely recommend the roadmaps that we have here. Where is it? Oh, roadmaps. Try this. It's a great place to start because if you're completely new, you will learn how to you'll start from the basics, from hosting a website on Amazon S3. What is S3? You will find out. What is IAM and why is cloud security important? You'll learn all about it. These are just basics. And then you learn a little bit about networking, like VPCs, building a VPC from scratch, using AWS, really understanding what that looks like in this phase. And then you get into databases, more into security, and then you start getting into containers and compute, and then DevOps. And then you start putting AI because, I mean, what is a cloud engineer now that if they're not leveraging AI? So there's a little bit of everything in here. It's a great place to start if you're completely new to cloud engineering. And we will continue to update these roadmaps with new projects. So stay tuned. And if you're struggling with a place to start, I would recommend doing that. And if you've completed all those projects and you're like, now what? Just tell us, and I will definitely help you out with that. So McSolkins, if you can reply to this, I'm just going to put a post here. I'm going to reply to this and would love to continue the conversation here. And anyone in the community, you're most welcome to join the thread in this post, add your thoughts to it. Bill Monty says, I've done a lot of the solutions architect roadmap. Great place to start. Great. And Bill Monty is about to start his new cloud engineering role on Monday. Super, super exciting. Aw, Bill says, the projects helped me pass my AWS SAA certification, and it made it easier to understand concepts. And if I'm not mistaken, he also had mentioned that these projects gave him something to talk about in the tech interviews, right? Very, very cool. So good to have you here. And yeah, I know Bill Monty is an absolute inspiration for the community. Woohoo! So good to have you here. All right, folks. Anything else I can address? Actually, I should tell you. How could I not? Today, the project we released, drum roll please, build an AI test generation bot with GitHub Actions. This is the project that we are releasing. Yes, Shane is absolutely right. We've been a little more sneaky with our Easter egg hiding. Some people like to find the projects way before we're ready to release them. So now we're hiding it a little better, maybe. But it will be ready when Nat goes live with her build lab. So this is the third project of a series, and it's learning how to use AI for DevOps, building a CI/CD pipeline using AI. So understanding how AI can automate reviewing your code, building tests. And in this project, you learn how to generate PyTests for new code and commit them to your pull requests. I highly recommend these project series. It's great. If you haven't started and you're completely new, I would recommend starting here with this project. And I can surely put the link out in the chat. Great, great project to start with. And then this is the project, the third project of the series. Tomorrow is the last day of 21 and 21, and it will be the final project of this series. All the projects are designed to be bite-sized. So if you do all the projects one at a time, it should be smooth and if there's any troubleshooting or errors that come up, it's just an opportunity to learn and understand what you're building a little better. So today we do have a build lab with Nat, and I would love for you all to join, sharing the link to the event over here. And if you cannot make it, don't worry, it will be recorded and streamed on YouTube. Thank you all for joining and asking wonderful questions and having a amazing discussion. I mean, Roy, Sean, Shane, you show up almost every day, and isn't it so wonderful, like the kind of discussions and conversations that come up every day? You never know what to expect. All right, on that note, thank you all for joining, and I will see you soon. See you at the Build Lab or see you tomorrow, wherever you are. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.